If you're just tuning in, Mr. Ettaro here. We're setting up our social media streams. We're going to be live today and hopefully interactive with you on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and, of course, on Facebook. Hey, give me this mic, Cody. This mic, give me a little more gain in the PA here in the studio, please. Send a little bit more to the output here. Check 1, 2. If you are watching our setup, then we would appreciate you sharing our social media streams as well and letting people know about this program. Coming live from Jefferson County, Du Bois, ABTS. We're going to be live with the Digital Edge here in just a second. Stick around. Bring that music back up. Excellent. And we got our PowerPoint up. Is Facebook working on there? Still down? Let's see what we got. It is. Awesome. Okay, so Lauren's going to monitor that. All right, and let's see what time we got. It is 10:14. We got 45 minutes to do the show. Awesome. And we are ready to go. DJ Malachi, go ahead and kick up the music. And VMix operator Cody, let's bring up that digital media art stinger because the Digital Edge starts now. Digital Edge brought to you by the Digital Media Arts program at Jeff Tech. More information on our wonderful school, 14 quality career and technical education programs available online at jefftech.info. And of course, our class website, DMA, stands for Digital Media Arts, DMA Studio Online.com or .net, as you may wish. My name is Mr. Ettaro, Digital Media Arts instructor. And you want to go ahead and bring that down there. We have Alina is doing behind-the-scenes posting to our social media channels. Trey is well, you know what? Let's just bring the kids into the show. We'll show you. We are ramping up our social media efforts, and we hope that you join us because this is an incredible, interactive, live class that we are piloting here this year and getting incredible response from people, educators, parents, students, across the country. We're so thrilled to be able to offer these opportunities to our students, and we hope today that you take this seriously and engage with us. We want to hear from you. Questions, comments, input. And we have a team of trained students who have been working very hard to build not only this VMix, incredible VMix studio that you're seeing happening here, but the social media aspect of our program as well. And in order to make it social, we need people to socialize with. So that's where you come in. If you're watching out there on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or engaging with us on Twitter, then we want to hear from you. If you're not, then here's how you do it. Let's pull up the split screen, please. The topic of the show today, let's go back. Before we go, the topic of the show today, we're going to wrap up our podcasting unit by delivering the lesson that the students are going to engage in over the next 2 weeks to create their own custom broadcast level project, a professional radio style podcast. We're going to get into the lesson here in just a second, where we're going to deliver the objectives and show what is expected of the students this week. But before we get going, I want to show you what we got going on within the realm of interactive aspects of the show. So you guys want to grab that mic there? And Lauren Wingard is, say hey, Lauren.
Hi.
You turn on your mic, speak right into it, and speak up. What's going on? It's on. Check. We got no mic volume on this, kid. Cody, what's going on? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. There's no signal going out. In the studio sends 1 and 2 to the PA. Cody, is this mic on live on V? We're live on the air. Get on it. Okay. Lauren, I'm going to pass the mic around. I want to introduce the students up on the stage with me. Lauren Wingard.
Hi.
What are you going to be doing for the show today?
I'm going to be our host and go through the slideshow for us.
And you're going to be monitoring what social media stream?
Our Facebook page.
Excellent. So, say hi, jump on our Facebook page, send me a comment through my teacher profile, or comment on our live stream. Ethan is joining the show today. Ethan, say hola to the audience.
Hola.
Excellent. And what are you bringing to the show today?
Just interacting and answering questions.
And your shining personality, of course.
Of course.
Of course. And, of course, speaking of shining personalities, Haley McCombs, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Haley.
What do you think?
I'm thinking this is pretty cool and I'm excited.
You should be. What an opportunity as a high school student to be able to demonstrate your skills like this and show employers what it is that you're doing.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Definitely not like any other.
Absolutely. This is not your typical morning announcements TV show, that's for sure. Okay, let's get me the audience cam, if you would, please. All right, and there is our audience cam. We got DJ Malachi over here. Mr. Malachi, you are going to be managing our which social media stream for us?
YouTube. And
what is your hope and your goal with YouTube?
To answer questions or concerns from the people.
And engage our audience. Get people actually asking questions, answering questions, get them engaged on our YouTube stream. So Malachi is going to be there for you, manning our station. If you have a question or a concern, or you want to ask, you want a question answered of us, you can reach him on YouTube. Then we got Trey over here manning our Twitter station. Trey, what is your plan for Twitter? I understand we're going to be utilizing polls today too.
And also interacting with fans.
Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and engage with our students on Twitter. If you are a parent, you've got a question about our educational process. If you're a production professional, you have a question about what we're doing here utilizing vMix and Behringer, please hit us up on Twitter. Trey's going to be managing that station. And then we've got Sandy Matz is running which station for us today?
Instagram.
And what are we going to be doing on Instagram? You're working with your partner in crime here. Let's bring Alina. Come on in the studio. Oh, there she is right there. Alina Poole, you're also manning Instagram. What are you guys doing with Instagram today?
We are doing behind the scenes and trying to interact with the people watching.
Absolutely. So she's posting behind the scenes videos as well as
monitoring and interacting with the followers who have like questions and everything.
Excellent. So we got a full team. Thank you so much, kids. We got a full team of experienced social media users online right now to serve you. our precious viewers. Because, of course, what's a show without viewers, right? So we appreciate that. Let's go ahead and do around the horn here, make sure that all of our technology is working. Give me a zoom in, please, on our hosts, our virtual Zooms. Excellent, looking good. And pan to the right. The other zoom, please. Let's pan to the right. There we go. Excellent. Get out. Give me that B cam, kids. How are we looking over there? There it goes. Looks great. Looking good. Give me that zoom. Check it out. That's awesome. Everything's looking good on there. And let's bring up the C cam up here on the far wall. Remember, when you switch scenes, excellent. Remember, guys, when you switch scenes, to go ahead and zoom back out to the default full position, okay? And let's go to the split screen. Let's get our lesson started for the day. All right, today, what was the topic? As we said, live delivery of our objectives for part 12 of our overall podcasting and audio production unit. Hey, how do we make out on that mic, kids? What's going on? Guys, I can't hear you. I need some feedback. Somebody opened up the door. Come in here. What's going on? Okay, get this fixed, please. Okay, so we are down to one microphone. We'll make this work today. I don't know. That's your guys' job. Get in there and fix it, please. Okay, delivery and objectives for part 12. Let's take a look at our first slides. Oh, I want to remind people, we went around the horn here. Go ahead and pull that up full screen, please, guys. I want to remind people where you find us on social media because, of course, we plugged social media and we introduced our team. Trey on Twitter. You can catch us at JeffTechDMA. So if you're out there and you're on Twitter, look us up, hit us up with a request, and say hey to Trey. Did you notice how I did that, Luke? Say hey to Trey. That was, what do you think about that?
Very Despacito.
I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I'm trusting that that was school appropriate, Keaton. Excellent. All right, next one. Where do you find Sandy and Elena on Instagram? Elena, read that out for us. Or Sandy?
Jeff Tech Digital Media Arts.
There you go. Find us on Instagram at Jeff Tech Digital Media Arts. And next on Facebook, Lauren is monitoring Facebook for us at, well, we'll have her tell you. Where do you find us on Facebook? Our Facebook page for our class is
Jeff Tech DMA.
Excellent. So hook us up. And I think that's what we got. Oh, no, we got YouTube. DJ Malachi, what do we got going on YouTube? But where do they find us on YouTube?
Jeff Tech Digital Media Arts.
Try it again. It's up on the screen up here, buddy.
Oh. Jeff Tech Digital Media.
There you go. Find us live on YouTube. Alina, you guys keep coming on in and out of the... You guys don't have to ask. It's a live interactive show. Come on in here, get up, move around, take part, have some fun. And Alina, of course, is doing behind-the-scenes shooting. You can do the same thing. Jump up on stage, get some behind-the-scenes shots, go out there in the production booth, just have fun with it, and load up our Instagram. And you guys out there, say hi to Alina and to Sandy on Instagram and engage with the show. All right, let's get some learning going. What do you guys think? Yeah? Awesome. What's that? I suppose. She's like, we just wanted to have some fun. What are we talking about today? Podcast production planning. The process of production planning. Give me, bring down that gain on that mic. Whoa. Other way down. There you go. Woo! That was kind of cool. Did you feel that vibrating? You felt your whole body vibrating, right? Mel, bring that split screen, right? There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going. Seems like we got our technical problems resolved. Yes, do we got Mike live now?
Check 1, 2.
Excellent. Sounds good. This one's a little bit hot here in the studio. Let me switch this out. 1, 2. That is as well. Hey, I think I know what the problem is. We're probably overdriving the output. That little Behringer board that is sending the signal to the PA, bring that volume down a little touch, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, there we go. Well, it's still distorting here in the studio. Is it sounding good out there on the live stream, though? vMix, how's it sounding in there? We're not clipping? Well, then do it, please. Okay? How's that? Better? Guys, where are we at? Do we have good quality audio or no? What's the issue? Hey, guys, I need some feedback from you. What are we doing here? We're in the middle of a live show. Do we have good quality audio going out to the stream? We do? Yes. Okay. I'd like to hear from our audience on this. Can you hear us cleanly? Is it clear? Looks and sounds decent in the studio. We're having some issues with the PA. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we're going to go ahead and resume with the show. And we're going to hope for the best. Let's go ahead and pull up the split screen, please. So what are the tasks that the students are going to be focusing on this week? Our program of study tasks are associated with the audio production process, the multimedia production process, I should say specifically, and then the business of radio and presentation skills. They are going to break these down for you. The students did a great job in producing these graphics for us. We're going to go down and we're going to take a look at each task that each student is expected to show competency in this week. Let's go into the first one. First one is 1101. Identify the components of an effective multimedia project. So all of our students are going to have to plan, produce, edit, execute, and then deliver their multimedia project, and they're going to have to show that they can clearly and concisely identify the components of that project, such as an introduction, the main body, the wrap-up, the commercial breaks. It should be evident in their final production that it was clearly planned, well thought out, and concisely executed. Hey, whatever you guys just did in there, it sounds a ton better in here. Cody, thank you for fixing that. It sounds so much better. And I'm assuming that everything is good out on vMix and we got good hot audio levels without distortion. Yes? Give me a thumbs up if we're good. I can't see. We're good? Excellent. Good job, kids. Cody and Mel in the booth, thank you so much for fixing our problems live on the air. Troubleshooting skills, very important within the realm of digital media. Okay, so we were talking about the tasks. Ultimately, they're going to need to not only produce the content and be able to demonstrate that they understand where they are with the process and to identify the components of their final production, but they're going to need to be able to clearly identify the components of other students' works as well. That's how they're going to get graded competent on that task. Next one. Okay, storyboarding. Well, storyboarding and outlining for a multimedia project. Storyboarding is so critical to the multimedia production process, whether you are storyboarding a video or you can even use storyboarding procedures and tools and techniques to be able to storyboard out the flow, the user flow, the navigation flow of a website. In this case, we are going to be utilizing storyboarding and outlining procedures, and the multimedia project that we are creating is an audio podcast with visuals that are going to be pushed out on YouTube. Next slide. Then the students are going to have to deliver the multimedia presentation. Well, they're going to create their podcast. They're going to export it in the appropriate formats. They're going to put it up on our social media channels, and they're going to deliver then a live presentation here on our show demonstrating what they did, why they did it, and how they did it. And that's how they're going to achieve competency on that task. Next one. Our upperclassmen. Now, we have what we call scaffolding here happening. We have the first three tasks that you saw. All students are going to have to accomplish, but our upperclassmen that do this podcast unit every year are going to have to demonstrate even more in terms of their depth of understanding of the process. And bring that slide up full screen. Their task for upperclassmen additional is 1907. This is the students are going to show the ability to design and create an audio production for desired mood and effect. Now, what this little guy, Ethan, let's chime in here. What are we talking about? Give me that beat cam. What are we talking about over here? The desired mood. If somebody wants to evoke an emotion in their listener, that's designating what?
Anger.
Anger, not a happy emoticon. How about this little dude?
That one's a happy emoticon.
That's a happy emoticon. How about this little guy?
He's a little less happy, but still happy.
Kind of bubbly. Well, what about this dude over here?
He's pretty sad.
He's pretty sad. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do to utilize editing techniques, organization and delivery of the content, practice interviewing skills? researching and writing and scripting and coming up with engaging content, downloading appropriate music and sound effects, all put together in our final production to create an audio production for the desired mood and effect. What was the genre of podcast that we created? What was the mood and the effect we want to instill in our listener? And then they got to demonstrate if they nailed that and why and how and what techniques they used. Next one for our upperclassmen. Students are going to show an understanding of the music and the radio business. This is where our upperclassmen are going to have to sit up here and give a comprehensive presentation where they show their portfolio page for this particular project, where they dissect their own work. They do a self-reflection where they show what they did, how they did it, and why they did it. And Haley, why are these skills so important to you guys? Why do you have to put a killer portfolio page up on your web page, up on our web page, I should say, and let people know the depth of your understanding of this process? Who might be watching this? What do you think? You speak right into it.
Well, if you want a job, this to show what you're capable of is very important, and having our online portfolio to show your organization skills, your writing skills, to post all your videos, because if maybe they want you to be their communication director or their graphic designer, so you really need to show what you want to do, because if you're showing something you don't like or you're not showing your best writing skills, they're going to be like, oh, well, that person's not the right fit. They're not working hard enough. They're not showing that they have the organization for the job. So if you don't have that stuff, you're not as likely as another student would be to get that job.
That's a really good point. You said something that I'm really proud of you, because it shows your depth of understanding of these processes. You said something that maybe they want to write, maybe they're looking to hire you, not as an audio producer or a radio host per se, but a creative writer to write ad copy, for instance, in their advertising department. Yeah. So, or maybe a technical director in the studio. So, yes, we are studying and we're pushing out podcasting here, but the end result is not all about the final MP3 podcast. It's about the whole experience and what you as students show that you bring to the table to a potential employer. So I'm glad that you see that whole experience. And if you're interested in seeing our student portfolios, check us out on our website, which is
dmastudioonline.com.
Excellent. All right, let's keep moving forward. Next slide. All right. Now, one thing I'm going to do here, that looks good. What I generally do is we have the students, I deliver this content to the lesson from the lesson plan to our video team. The students then help out and engage in the learning and research process by finding educational materials. They create the slideshows that you're seeing based on my lesson plans, and then they find support materials that they can use to dig in, and the other students in the class can use as further reference for materials. I ask them, I'm putting a little something for them to put in their pocket and think about as we're engaging in this unit through the rest of this week. Interviewing skills. Ultimately, all of their podcasts have to include people that they're going to interview and bring into their show. So we found 2 very useful YouTube videos that is going to be up on our YouTube channel on the playlist for this show. You can watch these. Go ahead and pull them up real quick. We don't want to get a copyright strike, so we're not going to play the full thing. But great video that this gentleman talks about how to identify a good guest and conduct a good quality NPR style interview. Okay, pull up the next one, Lauren. Okay, this one, nice 2-minute video as well. Pull that up full screen. On, if you are blogging, the basic journalism techniques on picking the right people again. Same thing, doing your proper prep work and conducting a good quality interview with the right people to help engage your audience And really good, really good advice. If you can find a character, somebody that's got some character to their personality, bring them on the show. The interview is going to be much more engaging. So I want you guys to dig in, watch these 5 minutes worth of videos. Those of you that are out there online, some good tips and tricks here for production. So my students, you're going to watch these on your own. We're not going to play them in the show because we don't want to get a copyright strike on YouTube. Okay, next slide up. So think about that through this week as we're going along. All right, so what are we talking about? This week we're going to be exploring different genres. And what is a genre?
It's the type of the kind of the mood and the feel of your show, your movie, your podcast. Whether it's informative, persuasive, entertainment.
These are the genres we're going to be talking about. But you hit it right on the head, Grace. You said what? What is a genre?
It's a style of.
It's a style, basically. So thank you, Grace. So here's what we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to explore several genres of production that the students might choose from. They may look at forming an opinion piece. They may look at doing a comedy skit or a sketch. They may look at, you want to pull up, oh, you got it up on the big screen there? Let me get out of the way. Thank you. Can you zoom in on that, Mel? There you go. They may go ahead and choose a narrative where they're reading something, telling a story. They may do a dramatization. They may choose to do a news piece, adhering to the tenets of journalistic code of ethics. Let's go back out and pull up that full screen, please. There you go. Yeah, you want to focus on that. A little bit. We don't want to keep it on there where it's cutting my head off. Okay, I noticed that. All right, so today we're going to specifically talk about. Let's break these down a little bit as we're going through this week. These are the micro plans that we're going to go every other day. We're going to be back exploring some of these other genres. Let's go to the first one, which is news and journalism. And Haley, why don't you read that for us?
Reporting about events happening in the community, state, country, or etc. And you can include interviews, phone conversations, actualities, ambient sound, behind the scenes audio, and it has an investigative feel.
Absolutely. Also, if you are engaging in news production, your piece should be, and you as the reporter should be what? Starts with an N. Neutral.
Okay, yeah.
And what about bias? Is bias appropriate in a news production?
No, definitely
you want to
not.
eat the mic
Or
there,
no,
kid.
you definitely do not want to be biased. You want to be unbiased.
Absolutely. If you want to be biased, you can do so in your podcast, but what genre of podcast would you use to express your opinion?
Opinion.
An opinion piece, exactly. So be clear to your audience. If you're offering an opinion, make sure that you're stating as such. You're not presenting news and unbiased news as masked as your opinion, or vice versa, I should be saying. Your opinion masked as unbiased news. Okay, next genre, the narrative. This is where basically we're telling a story, a book on tape. We're scripting out something. And then there's the dramatization, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Ethan, why don't you read for us what makes up narrative and dramatization? Go ahead. These are a little bit different here, but I'm lumping them under the same family. Go ahead.
Consists of sound design or a more immersive experience, often a bit serious, a bit elegant, and even a bit hammy, unless hammy is the goal. Clear storyline, strong characters, repeated dialogue, and especially a character.
Absolutely. And, of course, when we get into the realm of drama, there are some specific criteria, some of which we touched on here. And today, for our exercise, we're actually going to take a look at a classic drama that kicked off, a firestorm of controversy here in the United States and really defined where we went in the early stages of media development. We're going to be looking at the War of the Worlds. Good job on this. And let's go to the next slide. Comedy. Lauren, you want to read that for us?
Selling point of most comedy podcasts is a celebrity or a special guest. Improvised in or tells bits and pieces of funny stories, usually trying to promote a show or movie or book. consists of jokes and sarcasm.
Absolutely. You can engage in slapstick, all sorts of different humor. And, of course, if the students are going to engage in a humorous genre production, all of this content is going to need to be approved by me, and we make sure that everything is, as they say,
Wait.
School appropriate. Absolutely. That's a hard one these days. Who knows what? No, we know what the rules are. That's easy. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Opinion. Ethan, tell us. Well, actually, let's hear from our studio audience here. Somebody want to read this? How about Trey? Trey's running our Twitter feed. Give me that audience cam. And he's going to tell us what an opinion piece is.
Ideally, one person sets up the show, introducing show, setting up topics, listing of the calls to action, radio anchor, typically recorded with 2 or 3 people for the best flow.
So the focus here is a particular opinion on a specific topic, and you can support your podcast with guests that are coming on and also either conflicting with you, and maybe you get into a debate on the particular topic. You're giving your opinion. You're allowing your guest time to espouse their opinion, or maybe you want to bring people in and give your offering support for the same opinion on a given topic. Of course, engaging with your audience and keeping the show more interesting. I think the conflicting viewpoints on a topic of discussion can sometimes bring in a lot more in terms of viewer engagement. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so what is the end game here? When we're talking about the students, now they've got weeks and weeks and weeks of training on the science and the art of audio production. They've all been trained in the studio, how to use our broadcast level digital audio workstation. They've been trained on their safety, on how to set up a quality studio microphone. They're ready to go. What is it that we are going to expect of them at the end of this unit? Let's pull up the production objective. So the end game here, before we start fourth quarter and we start our career research projects this year, this is what our students are going to have to engage in. They are going to research and plan a podcast that will produce a 3-track radio podcast on the topic, featuring 2 interviewees, guests in the studio. So each student is responsible for picking their topic of choice, researching, writing, scripting, identifying quality guests that they're going to bring into the show, and then delivering what they did, why they did it, how they did it, and putting it up on the YouTube channel as their podcast. Each one of my kids is going to have to do that. They can, as guests, participate in various podcasts as guests. That's fine, but each kid is responsible for every step of the way here. Okay? They're going to utilize our broadcast level audio booth and Reaper, our DAW system, our multi-track recording system. Their total podcast must be a minimum of 15 minutes in length. That total production must also include 1 commercial break, which will include, or 2 commercial breaks I should put in there, a 60-second infomercial and a 30-second radio spot, topic of their choice. In practice, we had them do promotions for our class and for Jeff Tech. You guys can pick whatever topic will be appropriate to the topic of your podcast, as long as it is school appropriate, and you're going to make a radio commercial about that. Very good. All right, next one. Pull up full screen. Okay, they are also going to have to save their Reaper project, the edit, and all of the associated files saved to the student share, so that when they demonstrate, they can pull it up here in the studio, explain what they did, how they did it, editing techniques they used, post-production filters that they used, and we're going to demonstrate this live here, and then I'm going to see their technical skills in live time and be able to give my instructor assessment. They're going to have to show that they have the ability to interact with people, identify and invite appropriate guests on the show to interview. Interviewees can be anyone in the school, They could be students, they could be teachers, they could be faculty, staff, as long as it's approved by myself and it's school appropriate. And ultimately, the student producer will be responsible for creating their project from the beginning point to the end point. And let's take a look at what the end point is going to be. Go ahead. Next slide. The sub-objectives. Ultimately, you're going to create a YouTube version podcast where you have an audio file which is going to be exported as a high-quality MP3, and then you're going to create a social media thumbnail. You're going to then bring that into Premiere, and you're going to export that as a video on our YouTube channel. To illustrate this and show this, pull up our YouTube channel if you would, please. Lauren? So everybody's clear on what it is that they're going to be doing. Just go to our YouTube channel. It's already there. Just click the link. Go to our channel. Just type in Digital Media Arts. Lauren, just search for our channel. Okay, go to YouTube, go to search, and type in Media Arts Jeff Tech. Go to our channel. Go to videos. Find the Runestone podcast. This is the Jeff Tech podcast that we produce for Jeff Tech Radio. Keep going down. You're going to see it. It's obvious. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Lots of videos on there. Right there. Click it. There's Ms. Thompson and somebody from CareerLink talking about financial literacy. So when we talk about a thumbnail, there is the thumbnail, which is branded for the show. So whatever the name of the show is that my students determine for their podcast, they're going to have to create associated visuals and create a quality visual component for their show, which is a thumbnail illustrating the guests and the topic, and then they're going to export that as an MP4 video to put up on YouTube. So they got an MP3 file for audio purposes and an MP4 file for video/audio. We all understand that requirement, kids? Excellent. Let's go back to the slideshow. All right, and bring that up full screen. Okay, and the last criteria, they're going to write a report, as we talked about with Haley, fully detailed report on their portfolio on the website. They're going to deliver a presentation about why they did what they did, how they did what they did. And then the upperclassmen, this was the last task for the upperclassmen, they're going to provide a self-analysis on the themes and the techniques that they used to define the mood and the effect, including their editing style, the management of the podcast, and the management of their interview or their dramatization, and then how the production affected the listener. Did they achieve their goals, yes or no? We're going to wrap this up in 10 minutes with the delivery of a quick exercise. We're going to start thinking about, next slide, the art of creating a dramatization. What is a dramatization? Well, a dramatization, as we say, is it's in the name. It's a dramatization of content. And let's get out of here. We're going to take a look at the components of dramatization in our rubric that we have. And this is the dramatization rubric. So from the curriculum that we were using from PBS, did the narrator show that they know the story well? This is the rubric. There should be a sequence and a flow to it. There should be clearly defined characters. There should be, for drama, there should be some sort of an antagonist and a protagonist, some kind of conflict that brewed, which is going to illustrate the dramatic process. There should be a resolution, and there should be a clear setting. So, as we take a look at the requirements of the dramatization rubric, which students will be used to be assessed if they choose drama as their topic or their genre. And we're going to take a look at what they're going to do right now. We're looking at what dramatization is, and a classic character or a classic dramatization was The War of the Worlds. Students are going to research the classic radio broadcast, War of the Worlds, and then they're going to listen to the provided audio file. So this is what you guys are going to work on tomorrow. You're going to listen to the MP3 file, which I have in our server. Students are going to write a 500-word essay minimum on the radio business's impact in the U.S. from this particular broadcast. How did it impact the budding radio business? In that body, you're going to include, was this really journalism or an opinion piece? Was this responsible journalism? What purpose did this broadcast serve? You're going to answer those prompts. As well, we're going to go to our server, and we're going to take a look at answering these questions as well. What details about the script do these articles provide? So I want you to read these articles too. These are provided here. The War of the Worlds, the behind-the-scenes 1938 radio show, and what sparked the panic. I don't know what's going on. Our internet's running slow on this machine today. So you're going to want to read these articles. I'm aware of that. Thank you. Okay, and then we want to go to the War of the Worlds broadcast. You're going to read this article as well. We're going to go to the broadcast and the panic, the origins, telling the story of the Martian attack, the panic, and then the aftermath. So these are research materials that my students can use to answer these questions. What details about the script itself do these articles or these websites report on? And what evidence do you see that the radio dramatization that we're talking about, the War of the Worlds, was actually a good story based on the criteria established in class for a solid drama? So there's your research materials, and here's where you find the War of the Worlds podcast. This is the MP3 file in the Dropbox for this unit. All my students have access to this. And somebody unplugged this speaker. It's not coming through. They should be getting it on the NDI. You want to make sure this is plugged in? So this is the radio style podcast. You guys got this coming in through the booth? Mel, do you have this coming in through the booth? Why not? Okay, so no, that's not my job. I did not restart Scan Converter. You guys should have had this all set up. Do we have this going through the booth now? Do you have audio? You don't. Okay, we'll have to fix that next show. All right, so the classic podcast, you guys want to fix that, please? We got to make sure we got audio from this desk. That should have been attended to before the show. And we're losing audio here as well. Do we have this? Okay, this isn't working either. Guys, our tech team, you need to be on this. These things need to be working before we go live. When I pull stuff up, it needs to be coming through the studio, and it needs to be going to our home studio audience. So we got some things that we need to attend to next time around. Okay, so this is what we're working on tomorrow. Dramatization, our essay, exploring the War of the Worlds. Where are we going to get the content? It's in our Dropbox right here. And then the script, the War of the Worlds script. It's right here. You can open this up in Explorer or in Microsoft Word. And what I want you to do is, as you're listening to the podcast, actually pull up the script, because you're going to be looking for evidence, as we said, that this was a good, solid dramatization based on the criteria. And you're going to read along as you are listening to the podcast over the next couple days. Okay? That's what we're expecting of you. And then we're going to come back a couple days from now, and we're going to explore the genre of journalism. Speaking of which, we have DJ Malachi. We're going to wrap up the show here. Give me a little bit of music, because we have an exciting announcement here. All right. On March 22nd, our special guest is going to be live in the studio, James Lindsay. He is the professor of communications from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. He's going to be here in the studio to discuss his communications program, which includes a new high-tech drone program. We have a unique Typhoon H drone here that we utilize in our program. He has, I can't remember the brand name, but kind of cool. You guys want to fix that scene, please? There you go. Thank you. He's going to be bringing his drone in and doing a flight around the school using 3D goggles. He's going to be here on March 22nd and talking about the IUP Film Festival. The bell rang. Students are heading to enrichment class. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Give me the front scene, please. Let's go to our social media links. We're going to remind people, again, at DMA, Jeff Tech DMA on Twitter. And you find us on Instagram at Jeff Tech Digital Media Arts on Instagram and at Jeff Tech DMA on Facebook and on YouTube. You can find us at, give me the front cam, please, and split screen this. Bring up those graphics that way, please. Jeff Tech, jump on there and fix it. Jeff Tech Digital Media on YouTube. And do we have an end screen on this? No? Okay. All right, that's okay. Guys, we're getting off the rails here a little bit. I think the mission was accomplished. Overall, pretty decent show. Appreciate everybody listening in. Did we get any engagement on Twitter out there? Nobody. Okay, that's all right. We're going to keep trying until we build our social media audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mr. Ettaro, Digital Media Arts Instructor, and we have Lauren left over here. Everybody else ran out because the bell rang, ending our enrichment period. Lauren, thank you so much for hard work putting together the show.
Thank you. I'm glad I could be here.
Absolutely. We're glad that you're here. Are you excited to listen to the classic Orson Welles podcast, The War of the Worlds?
I'm very excited.
Have you ever listened to that before?
No, I have not.
Are you aware that this is where the movies came from?
I am.
Excellent. So now you have a little bit of context here, going back into the Wayback Machine to 1938 as we explore, as students are going to be exploring the art of creating a radio-style drama by exploring the classic Orson Welles radio production entitled War of the Worlds. And that's it for today's episode of The Digital Edge from the Digital Media Arts Studio at Jeff Tech. My name is Mr. Ettaro, here with Lauren Wingard. We want to thank Haley McCombs. We want to thank Trey Menzo. We want to thank DJ Malachi Woolbright. We want to thank Cody and Mel producing and VMix in the booth. And we want to thank Alina and Sandy running our Instagram. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? Ethan, Ethan for helping to co-host and create graphics for the production. Great show. Come on in, guys. And we got our afternoon kids. This is Jaden from our afternoon shop program, and we're going to be doing some learning today, but we are not going to be broadcasting live in the afternoon today because it's our short period. So that's it for the show today. We will see you Friday. Well, actually, I think we're going to be live again either tomorrow or Thursday, exploring the genre of news and news production and the journalistic code of ethics. We're going to be talking about that in a shorter session of the show. And then on Friday, we will be back with the Jeff Tech Jumpstart. So, and then by next week, we should be able to start showcasing some of what the students have planned and mapped out for their podcast. And we're going to be talking about what genres that they have chosen and their production plans. So very exciting stuff. All right, that's it for the show today. My name is Ettaro, Jaden Kessler, and Lauren Wingard. We're out. Have a great day, y'all. We'll see you next time around on the Digital Edge.